What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Finance with Parks. So for those of you that are new to the channel, back in June, my fiance and I actually purchased our first townhome. Now that is currently being built and is scheduled to be finished in the end of January. And one of the most asked questions when we tell our friends about this is, wow, how did you find your townhome, or where did you even start? And knowing where to begin on buying your first house is by far one of the most overwhelming things that, we honestly had gone through. So in today's video, I just wanted to highlight our personal experience of how we found our first house and kind of how we went through the process. Before getting into the details, the best advice I can give you is to try and narrow down as much of your search as possible before you really start even looking. If you go onto Redfin with the mindset, I'm going to look for all homes, whether they be townhomes, condos, houses, under $500,000, you will lose your mind. And for those of you that are snickering about $500,000 being the budget, and that would buy you a box in your housing market, unfortunately, that's the day we live in. I wish I could number out for you in order the things you need to make a priority to decide on, but to be honest, it's kind of going to be up to you and your personality/preferences. Obviously, budget is a huge one, but for us, we actually made the decision of townhome versus house right off the bat. Honestly, Melissa and I did not look at a single house because after some brief research online, we were able to figure out quickly that we were willing to sacrifice maybe a bigger yard or a bigger backyard for having a townhome that was a newer build and a lot nicer. I could go on, but for the sake of not spoiling the entire video, let's just talk about our journey in general. Just for the full backstory, we had been renting for about 2 years here, and as our re-signing period came up last June, we started to talk about our future plans. We knew we wanted to buy sometime early in 2021, so we decided to only re-sign our current lease for 9 months through March. We figured we could start looking in the November-December timeframe and be able to find something and move in within that February-March time period. Once our overarching timeline was in place, we really started to do significant amounts of online research. We didn't have a super specific budget in mind at the time, but I was on Redfin almost twice a week just searching for all options under $350,000, just to get an idea of what was out there and what you could purchase for that kind of money. I was specifically looking at, certain areas where some were expensive than others. What could you get square footage wise, bedroom versus bathroom, those kind of statistics. Now, like I highlighted in the intro, our decision to only look at townhomes came early in the process as well. After looking through the housing options on Redfin, we found 9 out of 10 times that the townhome options were much nicer and much cheaper. Now, I won't go into the total pros and cons of townhomes because there are cons, obviously. However, I will link the video down below that we did at the very beginning of this channel, kind of walking through high level why we lean towards a townhome over a house. Now, as far as area goes, we narrowed that down very quickly as well. A lot of our friends live closer to downtown, but we decided to make our commutes to work a priority. We both work outside of the city, so it just happened that most places that were within 15 or 20 minutes from a commute standpoint were also further out in the suburbs where housing's a little more affordable. So with just making those two choices, townhome over a house, and limiting the cities we were looking at, we had already made our search so much more manageable. I can't stress enough how much that helped not only our sanity, but also our efficiency in picking the right place within those requirements. The next task was then to narrow down a builder within those new townhome communities. With just the basic online research, we were able to find very quickly CB Jenny being highly rated not only for build quality, but also the experience with the salespeople from point of sale all the way to move-in day. Following that, we went to tour 4 different CB Jenny communities and highlighted all the different floor plans they offered. Following that experience, that was the first time we really sat down and looked specifically at price. CB Jenny provided really great mock-up breakdowns, taking you all the way from the sell price of the townhome down into your monthly payment breakout, which showed mortgage, interest, HOAs, homeowners insurance, and property taxes all rolled up into one number for you. Once we saw what kind of monthly payments we would be expecting, that allowed us to really start to compare, okay, here is the size or floor plan that we like. Does that monthly payment fit into our budget? And as far as developing a budget goes, I will keep it very simple. There are a ton of great articles out there that have, max home price calculators for you. But normally the overarching guidance is that your total mortgage payment shouldn't be more than 28% of your monthly gross income, not take-home pay. For example, this means with a monthly gross income of $5,000, if you multiply that by 0.28, your total mortgage payment should not be more than $1,400 a month. For those of you saying to yourself, well, that doesn't help me calculate the max home price, the calculators I linked down below will help translate monthly payment into total home value. Also, for transparency's sake, our personal percentage is about 21% of monthly mortgage vice our total monthly income. So back to the buying story. At this point too, I want to highlight we did not have a realtor at the time. When we went to go look at those townhome options, we were still really just in the curiosity stage. We had seen great photos of the floor plans online and really just wanted to go check them out in person to see what was available. Let me tell you though, once you get into the mindset of starting to look for, future homes and the wheels start turning, it can happen on you very quickly. Now, there are people out there who will go to look at 30 to 40 houses before they decide to purchase a home. And just knowing my personality and my style, and I'm assuming some of you are like this as well, there was no way I could survive seeing, 10 plus houses even. I understand that's my personality, so Melissa and I made a point to try and do as much upfront research as possible. So when we either talked to a realtor or went to physically look at houses, we had a really good narrow idea of what we were looking for and what we wanted. Now, could we have possibly missed the deal of a lifetime because we didn't look at more places? Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't think home buying has to be that complicated. We understood our priorities. We went and found a place that met all of our criteria. We thought it was a fair price, and we capitalized on the opportunity. Another item that has honestly become a silent blessing is that we have 7 months now from the time we technically purchased the home to closing to come up with our down payment and to prepare for the increase in the monthly mortgage. Although I'd love to tell you we were excellent savers before we bought the house, for the transparency's sake of this channel, I would be lying to you. We had enough to cover a down payment and to come up with the monthly mortgage. However, now having that little bit of extra added pressure and that firm or tangent target in mind has really helped us be more responsible and be more prepared. So I know this could end up being an hour video, but I will leave it right there. Just our high-level experience of finding our townhome. Hopefully that was helpful for some of you. And so going back to my high-level advice from the beginning, try to make some of those easy, 1 or 2 decisions to help at least narrow down your search a little bit. Anything you can do right off the top to exclude options will help you so much in the long run. It will still be overwhelming. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh yeah, it was no problem. It was stress-free. We found it, in no time. Because that's just not how home buying goes. But just by making those 2 top-level decisions first, focusing on townhomes and limiting the areas we looked at, it was such a more manageable and honestly enjoyable experience. So if you enjoyed this content, if you could like the video down below and subscribe to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. We're also posting on Instagram at finance_with_parks. So you can follow us along there on social media as well. We appreciate you watching the videos, and remember, finance is fun. See ya.